Hello, this is Mr. Bedford here. This video is about the nth term. Now, in algebra, you see something written almost like this. It will say the nth term equals, and let's just make something up. It's usually in this format where you have a number with the letter n followed by another number. Now, all this is a compact way of writing a sequence. So if you want to find out what the first number in the sequence is, you just replace this n here with the number 1. So to find what we call the first term, you would do this. You go 5 times by 1. Remember that 5n means 5 times by n. So we go 5 times by 1 plus the 1, do the math. 5 plus 1 makes 6. So the first number in our sequence would be 6. If I want to find what the second term is, the second number in my sequence, I just replace the n here with the number 2. So I'll go 5 times 2 plus the 1, in this case giving me 11. I can say the third term and so on would be 5, actually can't write the number 5 there, 5 times by 3, remember you replace the n with the number 3, plus the 1, do the math and get 16 for that. For sake of argument, if I was asked to find the 100th term, again, I'd do the same thing. Take the n and replace that with the number I'm interested in this case the 100th one. Add on the 1 from the end of the nth term, do the sum, 501. And if I was to look at this sequence, I would say it started off with 6, it then went to 11, it then went to 16. Maybe put a couple of dots in there, and the 100th term at some point would be 501. I might just write it like that. Right, the key things about this type of sequence then is that, just get rid of that for a second. If you look, when the sequence is made, you can see that it is going up, in this case, in 5s. And we would notice that if you look here in the nth term, there appears to be a 5 there. And later I'll show you a quick pattern for this plus 1. Okay, that's a bit of a brief description about what the nth term is. The questions that you've been looking at on hegartymaths look at the following. They say, take a sequence, and why not? Let's take the one I'll just be working with. So 6, see that? Just about. Move it down. Yeah. So 6, 11, 16, 21. 6, 11, 16 and 21. Dot, 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 dot. Right, this is a linear sequence. The word linear just means that we're adding on the same amount each time, or we're going up by the same amount each time. In this case, we're going up by 5. And the idea is, can we find out what this nth term is? So, in this case, the math for it is quite simple. There's a simple trick, and I'll show you what that trick is now. If you know you're going up in 5s, then just write down 5 followed by the letter n. And remember I said there's usually another term that follows after it. Well, to find out what the other term is, take your first number and go back by 5. So just take 5 off to find out what the term was before it. And in this case, it's a positive 1. And so I can stick my positive 1 on the end there. That then becomes my final answer for what we call the nth term. Let's give you a couple more examples on that. Let's try, why not, 6, 13, 20, 27, 34, dot, 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 dot. Right, a quick check on there just to see if it is a linear sequence. I'm adding on 7, I'm adding on 7, adding on 7. Okay, so I'm always going up in 7, so I can use this quick shortcut or technique for finding the nth term. So, if we go up in 7s, our nth term will be equal to 7, n, let's put the equals there. And if I want to find this bit here, we look at starting with the first term and we go back by 7 6 take away 7 makes minus 1, and so I'm going to put the minus 1 there, and that becomes my answer. It's probably now worthwhile pointing out that if this here is my first term, this one here is what we call our zeroth term. I'll put it in there as well. That's my zeroth term, the one before the first term. Okay, let's see what we can do now for the next couple. Let's try a sequence like this with some negatives in there. So negative 4. This actually was the first one on the video that was set. 2, 5 and 8. Right, same deal. Let's see what we're going up in. Minus 4 to minus 1. Looks like I'm adding 3 in that case. Minus 1 to 2. Again, add on the 3. 2 to 5, add on the 3. I guess the positive number is a bit easier to check. So we're going up in 3s. So we start off by saying then that the nth term, I'll put a couple of dots again, the nth term is equal to 3n, and I've got to work out the zeroth term. So if I start from negative 4 and I go back by 3, kind of like the opposite of that, if that's adding 3 going this way, then to go back I'd have to take away 3. 4 minus 3 makes me get to minus 7. So I can stick a minus 7 on there. Okay, just one more. Let's try something like this, where we're going to start with the 14. We'll go, why not, 10, 6, and 2, dot, 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 dot. So, again, if I'm looking to work out what the nth term is, so we start at 14. This time we take away 4. We go from 10. If we take away 4, we'll get 6. If we start at 6 and take away 4, we'll get 2. So let's have a look for the nth term then. Well, we're taking away 4 this time, so the number that goes in front of the n is a negative 4. Previously, we were adding on 3, and so we put a positive 3 in front of the n, or a positive 7, or a positive 5. We just don't usually write the pluses at the front. So this time we're taking away 4, so we put the 4 there. The next thing was to say was the zeroth term. Well, let's go back. The term that comes before this one. Well, going this way, I take away 4, so going back the opposite way, I'll need to add on 4. So 14 add on the 4 makes 18. Let's just check. 18 take away 14 makes 18 take away 4 makes 14. Good. And this 18 is a positive 18, so I write plus 18 there. And that then becomes my nth term. Right. I hope that helps. Give me a shout if it doesn't. Thank you kindly.